Hello and welcome back to my channel Psych Content, and today we are going to be speaking out on a topic that's going to be the story of everyone's life right now, especially in this lockdown phase. So without any further delays, I would like to introduce all of you with today's terms, that is a mood freeze. So have you ever heard of the term mood freeze? Well, according to me, most of us know what it feels like. We have all experienced this almost every day, or maybe, 5 to 6 times a day. Only the difference is that we never knew that this particular emotion or feeling was called mood freeze. For example, if you remember my previous videos on my channel, I have been talking about foot in the door technique or maybe scapegoating and all of that. So, we have always been through such things and phases in our lives, just that we do not know at times that this particular technique or this particular feeling or this particular behavior is called this. So, similarly, mood freezing also occurs with us multiple times a day, maybe just that we're not aware about its happening and its particular name. According to various psychology websites, mood freezing is a term derived from an experiment conducted back in the year 1984. The subjects of this particular research study were deliberately annoyed, they were really irritated purposely, and were given a placebo pill that was supposed to not let mood change happen. A placebo pill is like a dummy pill and which is commonly used in psychological experiments. Okay, so this pill does not usually affect the subject, and as I said, it is like a dummy pill where it supposedly creates the effect meant for the experiment. In simpler words, I know it's tough, I'll just explain it again. In simpler words, the subject is convinced by the researcher that he or she is having an issue, and hence the placebo pill is given, just what the doctor does. They tell the person that you have got this issue, and this is the reason why you have been given this pill to make him or her feel better. Later on, the subject says that he or she is feeling better because of the effect of the pill. But what happens is the pill doesn't usually do anything, it's just a dummy pill. But the subject says that he or she is feeling better because, yes, of course, we have had this perception in our heads that after we eat a medicine, we start to feel good. So that is the only difference. The truth is that the pill did not have any effect on the subject. It was the true power of the mind that allowed him or her to feel better. The subject does not know this, but we as psychologists and the person who is conducting the research knows this, that the pill did not do anything. So what does this mean for the concept of catharsis? It means to provide you with a temporary relief from a strong suppressed emotion by releasing it all through your conversations or by writing or so on. So the aim of all this, placebo pill thing was that it tries to give you temporary relief from a strong and suppressed emotion or a trauma by releasing it. In what way? By conversations, by talking, by expressing it in a healthy way, or by writing it down, and so on. People who write diaries can relate to this. As I read more articles on this particular topic, I realized that venting my emotions was the wrong way to make myself feel better. We often come across this thing, right? That vent out your emotions, vent it out, don't let it dwell. So I soon realized that venting out my emotions is a wrong way to make myself feel better. In fact, it is capable of doing more damage than good. And I truly realize now why I have been struggling to form connections all my life. These are certain, experiences that I read out from articles, and I've been reading it out for you all so that all these sentences can later support to my terms that I'm going to be soon using. Some people have been very understanding, but some haven't. Emotional ventilation is only a short term respite for all the emotional aches we all go through. We often come across that venting out is the best thing, but no. Emotional ventilation is a really short term relief. For example, if you're having a backache, You eat a painkiller because you need to go to college. But what happens is the painkiller is a short term relief. It will not permanently remove the backache. You will have to do something for it. It will just give you relief for an hour or two maximum. So, similarly, emotional ventilation is a short term respite for all the emotional baggage that we carry. It in the long term can make you feel chronic emotional ventilation, and of course, it can damage all your relationships in which you are emotionally dependent on people. In fact, it can also enhance your aggression levels. All this is relatable to every one of us. The main benefit of this mood freezing concept is that you will not have to regret any stuff that you may have blurted out accidentally in the process of ventilation. When we vent out stuff, we often blurt out certain things, right? That we're not supposed to talk to. So what happens is, in this mood freezing technique, you will not regret any of the stuff that you have blurted out accidentally when you are emotionally high. So it is all about training your mind, especially in this cautious state. It is only a proof that we have it in us to break free from all the shackles of our emotional chains. I know this sounds very spiritual or maybe, very high from reality, but trust me, we have the power in our brains, in our minds. I would call it mind, not brain, that we can break free from all these emotional chains that we are tied in. Now, since this video speaks about the implications of mood freezing, I would like to state out a few of them that may help you deal with your unpleasant emotions. I feel that's very important at this stage. First of all, we need to accept the situation. For instant relief, decide to make the best of whatever happens. As you pay attention to things you can control, other factors become less disturbing. I know accepting the situation sometimes becomes very hard, but what you can do is you can just pay attention to things that you can control. Automatically, this is a tried and tested, point, that once you start to concentrate on things that you can control, your attention diverts from the things that you cannot control. It makes, you know, that situation pretty better, and really provides a lot of relief. Learn to practice relaxation at any cost. Engage in daily meditation or take a walk or listen to music or anything that you like. I would prefer instrumental music. Take a pause. There is a lot of wisdom in stopping your anger by counting. Really, you can actually take up this point. You can actually get cautious at the time when you get angry. Start counting. And the minute you reach till 10 or maybe 15, I assure you, you are going to calm down. You are seriously going to calm down. Consider yourself to respond when a co-worker saddles you with extra work. This is just an example how a person can get seriously angry, and then using this particular point, he or she can get better. The third point, maybe you can anticipate consequences. Use that interval to calculate how different approaches are likely to turn out. Splitting up your chores with your roommate sounds more promising than seeing how the high kitchen garbage can pile up. This is just an example how you can anticipate consequences. For example, you can divide work. Instead of seeing a lot of work piled up together, you can just divide work with people around you so that it becomes smaller and smaller, and so the stress also reduces. Talk it over to people. Direct discussion usually works the best. Negotiate a flexible work schedule with your bosses, for example, and avoid all those last minute overtime requests. Just avoid last minute work. It causes a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. Make sure that you always seek distractions. Some things need to be examined and others are best left alone. Learn to ignore things, learn to let go of things. This is one of the best medicines, when you learn how to ignore a lot of things in your life. There are many times when we cannot do anything about situations, and I'm sure all of you can relate to this statement, that there are so many times when we just cannot help what's happening around us. So the best thing to do is just ignore it and get yourself distracted into anything else. listen to an audio or read a book or just go do anything else other than thinking about a particular situation. Also, learn to analyze events. I know there are serious issues that take up a lot of attention, but you should always ask yourself how important this particular situation is. And let me tell you, if you ask yourself honestly, your mind is seriously going to come up with so many solutions and with so many ways to deal up with this particular situation yourself. Always address root causes. Always make sure that you make an effort to identify the ultimate source of your feelings. Your distress over a broken fingernail may be really tied to a deeper concerns about your body image. This is one of the deepest thing that I read. For example, there are many of us who maintain long nails and get our hands manicured and stuff like that. So what happens is, for them, a mere nail breakage is a very big thing and a huge cause of anxiety. So what happens is, when your nail breaks the next time, try to go down on the root causes, that why am I feeling so sad if a nail has been broken. Deep down you may have issues with your body image, so that is how you get down to the roots of a small problem, and then you know that because of this small problem I have come down to this huge problem that's being hidden, and slowly I'm sure you can take out solutions for the bigger problem as well. Last but not least, especially in this quarantine period, change your routine. There may be a grave dilemma in your life or recurring patterns that can bother you. If you want to if you want to take up different results, do things differently. For example, put an end to homework schedules by agreeing on a set schedule, or maybe hiring a tutor or anything like that. Just saying that, try to break through the boring routines. For example, once or twice in a week you can just change your routine and do things that are not part of your daily schedule. So that will really help you, get through the anxiety that happens. If you want to be happier, try to vent less and relax more. Do not take any unnecessary pills, and always train yourself to react peacefully to unpleasant emotions. This really works, and this is a tried and tested, what do you say, a phenomena wherein you should always try to relax more and try to react peacefully. Your reaction really matters. So I guess that's all the preaching that I've done today. But I really wanted to talk about these particular points because I've always seen, and I myself have really felt the need to, to learn and know all these particular things. And through this channel, I myself am inculcating so many information. So I really hope all these points have been of some use to you guys, and I will be really happy to know if they have been used to any one of you. Really glad to have you all on this channel, and I hope to see you all in my next one. See ya.